Hi, this is Trey Pastor, and welcome to my film series reviews. This is Volume 2, and this is the last film in the series. Like I mentioned last week, for this series, the Ultimate Gangsters collection, and the movie that I'll be reviewing today is, of course, 1949's White Heat, starring James Cagney, Virginia Mayo, Edwin O'Brien, and this movie was made in 1949, directed by Raoul Walsh, who directed High Sierra and a few other movies, and basically, this is the story, White Heat, of a dangerous, psychotic criminal named Cody Jarrett, played by James Cagney. He's absolutely ruthless, and the movie begins basically with him and a gang staging a robbery of a train for postal funds. I think it's postal funds. A big postal heist is what it is. And basically, they show you how dangerous Cody Jarrett is. Basically, when they hold up the train and one of his henchmen mistakenly says his name, of course, and one of the engineers that they hold up to stop the train basically repeats Cody's name to him, saying, "Cody, you'll never get away with this." And of course, he says, "Yeah, you got a good memory, too good." And he plugs him right there, right then and there. And you see them basically do what they have to do to rob the train and get away with it. And of course, they get away with, I think, over $300,000 in funds. And they, beat it on the lamb to this hideaway where they're hiding out. And of course, Cody Jarrett also has a particular, I guess you would sort of say, he's really close with his mother, okay, Ma Jarrett, who he calls Ma, okay, and he's also married to Virginia actress Virginia Mayo, who plays his wife Verna Jarrett, who's kind of I'm just trying to say this kindly, she's a she's a very attractive woman, of course, but very impatient about things and very lazy. Okay, but basically in this movie, you see whether it's waiting up in the cabin, you meet some of the gang, and you also meet Big Ed, Big Ed Summers, played by Steve Cochran, and even Cody says when he's talking to I think Verna, his wife, saying, "Yeah, Big Ed. Yeah, he got big plans. You know why they call him Big Ed? Because he got big plans, big ideas, and someday he might get an idea to cross me." So he knows already that Big Ed is ambitious. Okay, but he keeps his eye on him. Okay, but also Cody also is subject to these intense migraine headaches. Okay, and he, in the midst of talking to his gang, he has one of these spells, and to show you how his relationship with his mother is, once he has one of these intense migraine headaches where he basically falls to the floor and the pain is so intense, he basically crawls into the next room, and his mom follows right after him. Okay, and she stands by his side, until the pain goes away and soothes his brow, and basically tells him, "Okay," and he goes, "Okay, Mom, thank you for being there with me. What do I do without you?" And so he's close with his mom. He loves his mom amongst above everything, and she basically tells him, "Get up, okay, and go back in there, Cody, and you show them that that you're still the man." Basically, that's what she basically you get up and show these guys that even though you might have had this episode there, that you're still on the top and you're still in charge. Okay, so he basically goes out there and does that, and they get the idea, because a big snowstorm is coming, that they have to leave the hideaway and split up into two teams. And of course, there's one of the henchmen that got burnt accidentally in the train robbery, and he's in pain obviously, and they can't call a doctor there. And so again, to show you how ruthless Cody is, Cody tells him, "Okay, we can't bring a doc here, but you stay here, and we'll go out and we'll send a doc back for you." Of course, so when they go out, and he tells one of his other henchmen here, you give him the doctor treatment, and basically gives him a gun, basically telling him this, to shut him up, just to kill him. And of course, the guy goes back, and he doesn't kill him because he's actually friends with him, and he just shoots in the air to pretend to kill him. But of course, this guy dies later. Okay, which leads into the next plot point. Okay, when the cops raid the hideout and they find the guy and they do a mask of his face and they find fingerprints, and so they know that, of course, Cody Jarrett's gang was involved in the postal robbery. Okay, and they basically track them down to a hotel, where Cody's staying with his wife and his mom. And of course, his mom goes to get strawberries because Cody likes strawberries, and they follow him back, and of course there's the feds are right after them, and they follow them, and of course Cody manages to shoot his way out, and they hightail it out of there. Okay, but Cody is incredibly smart. He has a plan already in place before he was planning this big postal train robbery. Yeah, he's gonna go to, I forgot what the city he goes to. He's gonna go to and turn himself in and claim that he pulled off this hotel caper, which he didn't do, of course. But this way he'll hide out, basically go to jail for like 2 years and hide out. And of course, that way, the cops will never, they can't pin the other robbery on him if he hides out, and take, in jail for 2 years. And in the meantime, of course, Big Ed, of course, is going to be in charge of the gang now that Cody's locked up. Okay, and the feds know that Cody didn't do that hotel heist. They know that he's just doing this to lay low, basically, until he can get out and get rid of the $300,000 he got from the postal train robbery. But so they have a plan. They come up with a plan that they'll send in an undercover agent, agent named Hank Fallon. They'll send him in as Vic Pardo, and this character is played by Edwin O'Brien. They'll send him in to get close to Cody to see if he can spill anything about the postal robbery. See if he can get close to him and see if he'll talk. And so of course he goes in there, and he's been in these prisons before. He's been in other prisons before, and they try to make sure that everybody that they make him go through all these lineup of criminals that are in that prison to make sure nobody he's arrested or been in prison with while he's undercover is there to see him and blow his cover. So he goes to the prison. He does get close to James Cagney's character, Cody Jarrett. He even saves his life one time because Big Ed, of course, moves in on Cody's wife, Verna Jarrett, who's not, like I said, not really loyal or anything. She's just whoever's in charge she goes with, basically. And she, so Cody, so he tells, Big Ed tells Verna, don't worry about Cody. Okay, I'm gonna have somebody to take care of him. And of course, he has somebody in prison almost kill Cody by dropping this heavy machinery on him. But of course, the undercover cop saves his life at the moment, so that solidifies their bond together. So Cody trusts him more now. And of course, his mother comes to visit him, Ma, and basically tells him that Big Ed is talking tough and basically taking up with Werner, and of course Cody tells her about the near accident that he had, and of course his Ma decides, you know what, she's gonna take care of him. And Cody tries to persuade her. Said, no, don't do it, Ma. Don't do it. Don't worry about it. I'll handle it. And she goes, no. She said, the day I can't handle a punk, basically a punk like him, like Big Ed, is the day I'm too old. And of course, she doesn't listen, and she goes off to try to take care of him. And then later out, you find out that Cody wants to get out now that he knows his mom is gonna try to make a move on Big Ed. He wants to get out, and then of course, undercover agent Hank Fowler decides to help Cody with his plan to break out. They're gonna sabotage the generators and cut the power and escape that way. Okay, and they got it all set up, and he passes a message on to his wife, who's a really undercover agent, to tell his bosses that we're gonna sneak out once we cut the power to the generator, and we're gonna cut out. We're gonna cut out that way, and it's all set up, and the feds are gonna trace the car. They have the car planted, and with a bugging device on it, and they're gonna trace him, and that way and get him that way. But before that happens, he finds out, Cody, that his mom got bumped off, okay, and she got killed, of course, and then he absolutely goes nuts in prison. In a great scene, you see James Cagney going absolutely nuts. They pass the word to him, that his mom died, and he has one of these intense migraine headaches where he just rails like an animal. He's knocking out. I think he knocks out like 5 guards before they subdue him and strap a straitjacket on him and put him in the mental part of the prison. Okay, so of course that plan to the feds find out, so their plan to to catch him when he tries to bust out is kaput, because the doctor is prescribed that he's gonna throw Cody in that he's mentally nuts, and they're gonna put him in an asylum. Of course, that's a little backstory, is the way that his father died in the nut house, basically. But he went nuts and he died in the nut house. So of course Cody is still thinking that he's not gonna die this way. He still wants to break out, but this time they have a gun stash, and they're gonna break out that way. And before undercover cop Hank Fallon, who played, is also his alias Vic Pardo, can let the feds know, they do break out. He with the undercover, with the gun they get, and they basically overpower the doctors that are getting ready to transfer him, and they basically sneak out of the prison. Okay, and then which leads to the big conclusion in the movie, of course, where they're gonna plan one heist at a big chemical plant. Okay, with their contact. Okay, they're gonna rob the big payroll in this big chemical plant. Well, I think it's supposed to be over $400,000. They're gonna rob that, and he even tells the story of a Trojan horse thing, where they're gonna take a big truck, gas truck, and put a hollow end in it, and then the gang's gonna hide in that and ride into the chemical plant and take it in, to basically take it over. Of course, but what undercover cop Hank Fallon doesn't know is that one of the drivers that works at the plant is actually one of the guys that he puts away. So in the middle of the heist, he basically fingers him, and of course that's when Cody Jarrett flips out, to find out, and the cops do find out, because in the midst of driving to the chemical plant, Hank Fallon he actually leaves a note for the feds on a bathroom mirror in a gas station, and that message gets to his bosses. So they're waiting at the chemical plant to bust Cody Jarrett and his gang, and then that leads to the big conclusion at the end, that you see in all these movies, Top of the World, Ma, Top of the World. And this, I'm going to say, James Cagney is absolutely fantastic in this movie. White Heat is just absolutely fantastic. Virginia Mayo is good too, as Werner Jarrett, the disloyal wife of his, who loyalties change with the wind. Okay, and then also Edmund O'Brien is the undercover cop Hank Fallon, alias Vic Pardo. He's good too. And also you have Steve Cochran as Big Ed Summers, the guy that tries to take over Cody's gang when Cody's in jail. And then also Margaret Wycherley, who plays Ma Jarrett, the loyal Ma who Cody will do anything for. Okay, this movie, like I said, the White Heat is just actually one of the best gangster movies I've ever seen. Absolutely fantastic. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's that good, and you definitely should check it out. I love old Hollywood films, and I'm kind of sad that this is the last film on the old gangster set for me. White Heat. I had a good time reviewing this series of Ultimate Gangster Collection. I did Little Caesar, Public Enemy, Petrified Forest, and now White Heat. And if you want to check out those videos, you can just check my channel for those reviews. Okay, I have it in the playlist, and this one I'm going to add to the playlist as well. And I absolutely love this Ultimate Gangster Collection. Definitely an 8 out of 10 for White Heat. Absolutely fantastic. James Cagney, top of his game. And again, that great speech at the end, top of the world, Ma, top of the world, which is something that his mother always used to tell him, that he's going to rise to the top of the world. Okay, so literally, that's what he does towards the end of the end of the movie. Okay, and like I said, great performance by James Cagney, one of the best actors ever. Okay, so that will be the end of my Ultimate Gangster series, which is volume 2 of my film series collection. Okay, I think the next one that I'm going to be doing, I don't know right now. I think I'll take the week to think about it, but I have a couple of options. I'm going to think about another film series that I'll be reviewing next Sunday. So tune in to see what that series will be. I'll kind of leave that to chance. I have a few ideas, but I don't want to spoil it here. So you have a reason to tune in next week and see what film series I'll be reviewing next for volume 3. Okay, and of course stay tuned later. Or actually, because the way I'm going to load this up on YouTube, it'll probably be film series 1, which is the Planet of the Apes series. I should have already loaded Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Okay, so next week will be Escape from the Planet of the Apes. Battle for the Planet of the Apes, which is the last in that series. Okay, but like I said, I'll start off a new series for volume 3. Okay, and I don't want to spoil exactly what it's going to be. I'll leave that to chance. I'll pick one during the week, and then I'll review that first movie and show you what I'll be reviewing for film series number 3. Okay, so anyway, let me know what you think. If you have this collection, let me know what you think. If you've seen White Heat, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.